Good evening, I'm Meryl Friend. Welcome to News Geelong on this cold winter Friday the 23rd of July. A number of councils from around Australia are getting behind a newly formed group called Mayors for Peace. 52 councils across our great nation are included to help stop the production of nuclear weapons, and now our City of Greater Geelong Council has joined them. And in the world of local Geelong sport, Nathan Curry will bring us the latest news, including an update with the Geelong Cats senior coach, Mark Bomber-Thompson. And from the weather world around Geelong, Lani Salathiel will share with us the latest predicted winter weekend weather and what to expect early into next week. But firstly, the City of Greater Geelong will allow veterans to park free in the Geelong region under a new scheme supported by Council. Eligible war veterans, including those with Afghanistan Medal, Veteran Affairs Gold Card holders, those holding an Australian Service Medal, and those involved in peacekeeping missions in operation zones. Eliza Houghton caught up with our Mayor.
Now, war veterans throughout all of Australia and now Geelong are going to receive free parking as a sign of respect and recognition for the duties they have done for our country.
Yes, Eliza. Look, I was very keen to see this established for the city. It's a mark of respect for our returned servicemen and women. The sacrifice that they made to make not only Geelong but Australia and the world a better place during all theatres of war, and it was just a small way that we could show returned servicemen and women that we care. So they're able to apply for a parking permit, which allows them to park free in the city at any time.
Eliza Houghton here in Jerringhap Street for News Geelong.
Thank you, Eliza. A number of heritage restoration groups have got together to remind us of the significant buildings in central Geelong. An historic walk through Ryrie and Mirrabel streets points out the need for funding to restore some of Geelong's precious old buildings. Eliza Houghton travelled the walk.
We're down here on Ryrie Street with Richard Miles and our Heritage Portfolio Cameron Granger to raise awareness for the historical value along Ryrie Street and the hope of one day a redevelopment. And Geelong is full of historical value. Can you tell us why you're down here today and what the Heritage Walk's all about?
Yeah, well, look, about a month ago I had a speech in Parliament where I was really saying that we need to try and put the Grand back into Ryrie Street. Ryrie Street used to be known as Grand Ryrie Street, and we have fantastic heritage buildings in Ryrie Street. There's a lot of heritage value within the Geelong CBD, and I think as a community we tend to undervalue that compared to places like Ballarat and Bendigo. But in actual fact, if you look at the raw material here, we've got the best collection. This could be one of the great tourist attractions of Geelong, if not Victoria.
And how do you plan to sort of bring more awareness to the historical value of Geelong?
Well, partly raising it in Parliament was the beginning, but what we're doing today is a bit of a heritage walk with the National Trust, with the City of Greater Geelong, with their heritage officers to have a look at what's here. We're trying to raise awareness with this in the local media, but I think then what we need to do is actually get together the owners of these buildings and see whether we can build a commitment to really revitalising our CBD so that we can make it something very special.
Now, Cameron, as the Heritage Portfolio holder, what types of ideas do you have that could recreate these buildings into, capturing their old historic value?
Well, I'm actually very pleased that Richard has raised this issue because it's a big issue for Geelong, not only for Ryrie Street but in several other streets. Mirrabel Street's another example of where some of these grand facades could be restored. We'll have to work with all levels of government to try and achieve something, as well as with the private owners of these businesses or these buildings. So what I envisage doing is, as a City of Greater Geelong Heritage Portfolio holder, is setting aside some money in a budget to try and do a study and commission the study on this, and then try, as Richard said, to get these owners together and talk about the possibility of restoring these to their former glory.
Down here on our historic Ryrie Street, Eliza Houghton for News Geelong.
Thanks, Eliza. At the City of Greater Geelong Recycling Depot, plans are underway to form local focus groups to discuss the trends in recycling. Geelong West residents will be the first to share their recycling habits. Takia Beard found out the areas these groups are investigating.
I'm here at the Barry McMurray Operations Centre speaking to Darby Munro about recycling focus groups in Geelong.
The idea of the focus group is to look at the material that we're trialling with residents in Geelong West, and what they will do is provide us feedback about how effective the information is, and from there we'll be able to roll it out to other suburbs.
So what sort of topics will you be discussing in the meetings?
We'll be looking at things like behaviour, how people, the whole program is based around reducing or getting plastic bags out of the recycling and green waste bins. So we'll be looking at ways in which residents think that this can be achieved, what would be the most effective way. They'll be looking at material that we've used and they'll be looking to see how effective that is as well.
And how will this help to benefit the community?
What it will mean is that it will reduce contamination in recycling. So, for example, if you get plastic bags in the green waste bin, they damage the equipment that's used in the processing of green waste. With recycling, what will happen is that anything that is in a plastic bag will automatically go to landfill, so that's a wasted resource.
Takia Beard from News Geelong.
Thank you, Takia. This is News Geelong here on Channel 31 Analog and Channel 44 Digital as we go to a break and return with more news after this.